Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Monday, September 21st, 2015, around 7:55 in the morning, Belleville, Massachusetts. Gonna be a very nice day out, sunny out. Will be about 70 or so, a couple of degrees below average, but you know, this is normal weather for this time of year. Earlier this morning, low nip in the air. It's chilly, sign that fall season's coming, and I'm noticing fall season already with all the leaves turning and stuff, and also getting allergies. Get them this time of year, they're pretty bad, with eyes running and sometimes congestion of nose. And I have the week off from work this week just to take it easy from having a cyst removed from my head. I feel fine, but as a precaution, need a week off. And some news to report. The Boston Bruins beat the New Jersey Devils in preseason action by the score of 2-0. Great to see the Bruins back in action. Only 17 more days into their regular season starts. And it's Happy International Peace Day. So be peaceful to everybody. I wish there was world peace everywhere. There shouldn't be hateful stuff anywhere. Period, in my opinion. But that's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is my continuation of the top 10 list of everything and anything. I've reached the top 10 old school things that I miss about professional wrestling. Professional wrestling has changed over the years. It's evolved more from being professional wrestling to more of sports entertainment. The current wrestling product of WWE, TNA, and Ring of Honor is not the old school wrestling that many fans grew up with in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. It's more entertainment based and stuff. It's more like there's no such thing as true heroes or true villains anymore. It's just, the arena action is, not that great. There's no long-running feuds anymore. They build up to a match with wrestlers for months and months and months, and then once the big payoff is, it's nothing and nothing good. But that's another subject for another day. And here are the top 10 old school things I miss about professional wrestling. Number 10, long-term champions for world champions. This is one of the best things that made old school wrestling great. You had long-term champions in like WWE with Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan. They would hold the world title for years on end. Also in the NWA with Ric Flair and Harley Race and Jack Briscoe and Dory Funk Jr. They held the NWA World Championship. And in the AWA, it was Vern Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel. They would hold the world title for years and stuff, and it would be a shock when they lost the titles and stuff. So that's one thing I miss about wrestling old school. Number 9 on this hit list of the top 10 things I miss about old school wrestling is 6:05 Saturday nights on TBS. It was either Georgia Championship Wrestling or NWA World Championship Wrestling and just World Championship Wrestling. It was real good to watch the Superstation at 6:05 to see great professional wrestling. Originally called by Gordon Solie, then it was Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, and back to Tony Schiavone. The late great Dusty Rhodes called 6:05 p.m. Saturday nights on TBS the Mothership, and it was for many years because you got great wrestling action. Many of it was squash matches and stuff, but it was great to see the stars of the NWA and WCW. You would always be entertained to watch 6:05 Saturday nights on TBS. Number 8 on this list of the top 10 old school things I miss about professional wrestling. True faces, heroes, and true villains. The heels. And this was pretty good in old school wrestling. The baby faces would always get cheered when they wrestled clean and scientifically, and the heels would get booed if they broke the rules or talk loud and stuff like that. Then this was what made old school wrestling classic, because of true heels and true heroes and stuff. Now it's like there's no true faces anymore, and there's no true heels. Sometimes the wrestlers who who are loud, who break the rules, get cheered the most, and the wrestlers who clean and stuff, clean and scientific, they get booed a lot. So that's changed a lot in wrestling and stuff. Even though it's evolved, but I miss the old school ways of true heels and true villains. Number 7 on this list of the old school things that I miss about pro wrestling is long running feuds. It was good to see long-running feuds of two wrestlers, especially like Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and Bruno Sammartino and Larry Zbyszko and so many others. It was some of these feuds lasted for months on years on end, and the storylines were great. The build-up was fantastic and stuff. It was a great payoff. Now, most of the long-running feuds, they just build it up, and there's there's only one match, and it kind of sucks. Number 6 on this list of the 10 old school things that I miss about professional wrestling. The time of the fall. It was great to hear the ring announcers say the time of the fall, X minutes, X seconds. It was good to hear that and stuff like that, even though some of it was gimmicked and stuff, but it was good to hear the time of the fall for the ring announcers. Number 5 on this list of the 10 old school things that I miss about professional wrestling, Vince McMahon as an announcer. Even though Vince McMahon wasn't, what you say, a good wrestling announcer, he was just like kind of a decent announcer. It was great hearing the voice of the WWE for over 25 years. He was very enthusiastic and stuff, and he was somewhat hyper and stuff. And he was the play-by-play announcer for the WWE television for over 26 years before he became the Mr. McMahon character. But I liked Vince McMahon as an announcer a little bit better than Vince McMahon the heel. Number 4 on this list of the 10 old school things that I miss about professional wrestling, talk show segments like Piper's Pit, The Brother Love Show, The Snake Pit, and a few others on WWE television. They had a few on other wrestling organizations, but they were not good as the WWE's ones. Sometimes with the WWE interview segments, with the talk show segments, they were pretty good, especially like Piper's Pit when he sometimes attacked faces, Piper, and stuff like that. I miss those days. Number 3 on this list of the top 10 old school things I miss about professional wrestling. Managers. Love these old school managers like Captain Lou Albano, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, Classy Freddie Blassie, Jim Cornette, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart, Gary Hart, Jay Gillen, and so many others. Some of these managers were the mouthpieces for their wrestlers and managers, heels, because some of them, they weren't good talkers, and the managers got them over as, heels and stuff. Plus, some of the managers did a lot of bumps, which was pretty good and stuff. Now, these days, all the wrestlers talk to get themselves over, which is pretty good. And some of them have, ladies, kind of valet as their managers. There's eye candy and stuff like that. They sometimes don't interfere, and sometimes they don't talk at all. So, I like the managers. I wish they could return them. Number 2 on this list of the top 10 things old school things I miss about professional wrestling, regional territories. Regional territories was good for the wrestling business for years and years and years, because you would have so many stars go to one area of the country for about 6-7 months. When they got stale there, they went to another part of the country. 6-7 months, they got stale there. They could have returned to where they originally from, or go to another territory. Plus, some of the regional territories were good because some of these wrestlers would hone their crafts in one territory, then go to another territory and become a star there. And when Vince McMahon and the WWE went national in the 1980s, he gobbled up the top regional stars from these regional territories, and the regional territories died out. That wasn't good, because where could you find your next wrestling stars and stuff like that? They have Performance Center for the WWE Training Center, and NXT, and TNA, and Ring of Honor, but they get exposure and stuff. So these wrestlers who are rookies are already known by the people. And number 1 on this list of the top 10 old school things that I miss about professional wrestling: squash matches, like the jobber matches. They usually were on WWE Superstars of Wrestling, the Wrestling Challenge, and NWA Worldwide, and NWA Pro, and other regional territories. The squash matches were usually the top superstar of the territories wrestling at like a jobber who was like maybe a rookie or like a local indie wrestler, and it was just for the top star to show his moves and stuff and like that, and most of them were to promote the house shows and stuff. And I missed the squash matches. They were entertaining, even though you know who was going to win, but they were entertaining. No, that's the top thing I'm missing about wrestling now, old school. There's no squash matches. And that's about it on that. Be back later for 2 more video blogs, which I'll be reviewing Fall Brawl 1995 WCW pay-per-view from Asheville, North Carolina. And the third and final video blog in the night, the personality profile returns with Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask. Keep calm, everybody, and I'm Julie Brennan Guy. Molly Rosenblatt of Fox J5 rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning. And in the words Bob Redding, former executive director of the Boys and Girls Club of Great America. That's a possibility. See you later.